anonymous user who claimed to be a dark web kidnapper. The user went by the moniker Phantom, a name that sent a shiver down my spine. They boasted about their sinister exploits, sharing chilling stories of abductions, ransoms, and a malevolent game they played with their victims. It was a grotesque display of power and sadism, and my morbid curiosity drove me to follow the thread further. Over time, Phantom's posts became more detailed, revealing a pattern to their dark pursuits. They described how they targeted individuals who had left digital breadcrumbs of vulnerability, those who had shared too much personal information online, or had fallen prey to their manipulative tactics. Phantom reveled in the control they exerted over their victims, the terror they instilled, and the torment they inflicted. The chilling part was that Phantom didn't just share their tales. They live-streamed their sinister acts on the dark web. Those unfortunate souls who fell into Phantom's clutches were subjected to a nightmare broadcast for a twisted audience of voyeurs, their suffering displayed like a grotesque work of performance art. The more I read, the more I became convinced that Phantom's claims were not the deranged fantasies of a cybercriminal seeking attention. There was a chilling authenticity to their posts, a sense that they reveled in the power they held over their victims. The line between reality and the digital realm blurred as I delved deeper into this disturbing subculture. My own sense of morality and ethics wrestled with the darkness I was exploring. I was compelled to do something, to bring this kidnapper to justice, but I knew that the very nature of the dark web made it a lawless frontier, beyond the reach of conventional authorities. Desperation led me to search for allies who shared my determination to stop Phantom's reign of terror. I discovered a group of digital vigilantes, individuals who had taken it upon themselves to combat cybercrime in the shadows. They called themselves the Digital Guardians. Joining their ranks was not a decision I took lightly. The Digital Guardians operated in secrecy, using their skills to uncover the identities of criminals on the dark web and report them to law enforcement. Their methods were unorthodox, but their commitment to justice was unwavering. As I became more deeply embedded within this shadowy collective, I began to assist in their efforts to track down Phantom. Our pursuit took us through a labyrinth of encrypted networks, hidden servers, and treacherous digital landscapes. It was a dangerous game of cat and mousey, with Phantom always managing to stay one step ahead. But as weeks turned into months, our relentless pursuit began to bear fruit. We uncovered clues that led us closer to Phantom's true identity. He was no longer just a faceless tormentor in the depths of the dark web. He was becoming a real person with real vulnerabilities. The final breakthrough came when we discovered a digital trail that led us to Phantom's physical location. He had grown careless, complacent in his belief that he was invincible. It was a moment of reckoning that we had all been waiting for. The Digital Guardians, with the help of law enforcement, descended upon Phantom's hideout. As the door was kicked in, I couldn't help but feel a mixture of exhilaration and dread. What we found inside was a chilling tableau of his crimes. Darkened rooms, a bank of monitors streaming his twisted broadcasts, and, to our horror, a small holding cell where his victims had suffered. Phantom himself was captured, his expression a mix of defiance and resignation. He had lost the game he had played for so long, the illusion of invincibility shattered by our determination and collaboration with the authorities. The dark web kidnapper, who had once reveled in his sadistic exploits, was now in chains, awaiting justice. His reign of terror had come to an end, but the scars he had left on his victims would endure. As I stepped out of Phantom's lair, I couldn't help but reflect on the darkness I had encountered in the digital abyss. The dark web was a place where humanity's most depraved impulses found expression, but it was also a realm where the determination to combat evil, even in its most insidious forms, could shine through. My journey had been a descent into the heart of darkness, but it had also been a testament to the power of collective will and the relentless pursuit of justice, no matter how deep the shadows may run. I completed the order form with trepidation, providing my shipping address and making the payment using cryptocurrency to maintain my anonymity. Weeks passed, and I had almost forgotten about my impulsive decision. That is until a nondescript package arrived at my doorstep, unmarked and slightly battered, like it had traveled through the shadows of the world. The box was surprisingly heavy, and as I gingerly opened it, I found an assortment of eerie items nestled within. The first thing that caught my eye was a weathered leather diary with pages yellowed with age. Its cover bore no markings, but the scent of old paper and ink filled the air as I opened it. The handwriting inside was elegant but faded, recounting cryptic tales of lost civilizations, forbidden rituals, and strange encounters. As I pored over the diary's pages, I couldn't help but feel a creeping sense of unease. The stories within seemed otherworldly, as if they belonged to a realm beyond human understanding. Mention of a hidden cult, whose members sought to communicate with entities from another dimension, sent shivers down my spine. The diary provided no answers, only more questions and a sense of foreboding. Next, I uncovered a stack of peculiar photographs, all black and white, and each more unsettling than the last. One depicted a shadowy figure in a hooded cloak, standing amidst an eerie forest at night, its face obscured by darkness. Another showed what seemed to be an ancient altar, adorned with strange symbols and candles. I couldn't help but wonder if these images were connected to the stories in the diary, or if they were merely eerie coincidences. My heart raced as I picked up the final item in the box, a small, inconspicuous USB drive. It was devoid of any labels or markings, leaving me to wonder about its purpose. Plugging it into my computer, I was met with a single file, a password-protected folder. The tension in the room grew as I contemplated whether to unlock the digital mysteries it held. After some hesitation, I decided to delve deeper and decipher the contents of the USB drive. The password wasn't readily apparent, but with some trial and error, I managed to unlock the folder. Inside were a series of encrypted files, each named with a sequence of numbers and letters. My curiosity outweighed my fear, and I began the painstaking process of decrypting the files one by one. As I worked through the files, a pattern emerged. They contained fragments of what appeared to be transcripts, recordings, and scientific notes. The subject matter was baffling. Anomalies in the fabric of reality, experiments conducted in secret laboratories, and references to a phenomenon known as the Void Nexus. The deeper I delved, the more I felt like a pawn in a cosmic game, uncovering truths that humanity was never meant to comprehend. I began to reach out to online communities in search of answers, sharing my discoveries and seeking assistance in decrypting the remaining files. It was here that I encountered others who had also received similar dark web mystery boxes, each containing their own enigmatic contents. Some shared stories of disturbing visions and unsettling dreams, as if the mysteries of the box had seeped into their consciousness. As we collaborated, attempting to piece together the puzzle presented by the mysterious files, we uncovered a sinister truth. The encrypted documents hinted at a clandestine organization dedicated to exploring the boundaries of reality and manipulating it for their own inscrutable purposes. Their experiments, it seemed, had led to catastrophic consequences, including the disappearance of several of their own members. Our quest for answers became a race against time, as we felt pursued by unseen forces. It was as if the very act of uncovering these mysteries had drawn the attention of something malevolent. Paranoia and fear crept into our lives, and we began to question the wisdom of our pursuit. As I pen these words, I can't help but wonder if my decision to order that dark web mystery box was a grave mistake. The secrets it held, the unsettling stories in the diary, and the encrypted files have left an indelible mark on my life. I fear that we have merely scratched the surface of a vast and unfathomable abyss, and the consequences of our curiosity may yet be revealed in ways we cannot imagine. The dark web mystery box remains an enigma, a Pandora's box of unknown horrors and forbidden knowledge. I can only hope that by sharing my story, others will be warned of the dangers that lurk in the shadows of the internet, and that they will think twice before unlocking the unknown. In the murky depths of the dark web, a person known as Dr. Obscura had established a grotesque empire of exploitation and abuse under the guise of a medical professional. Driven by malevolent intentions and a sadistic desire for control, Dr. Obscura preyed upon vulnerable individuals who sought solace and medical advice through clandestine online channels. Patients, lured by promises of confidential consultations and unconventional treatments, would unknowingly enter Dr. Obscura's web of deceit. The doctor would masquerade as a savior, offering dubious remedies for various ailments, both physical and psychological. But behind the virtual facade lay a chamber of horrors where patients' trust was shattered and their suffering intensified. Dr. Obscura reveled in their vulnerability, exploiting their deepest fears and insecurities. Patients who sought help with their mental health were subjected to manipulative mind games, worsening their conditions. Those seeking physical relief were subjected to torturous treatments that left them scarred, both physically and emotionally. Each patient's experience was meticulously documented on the dark web, further perpetuating their suffering. As whispers of Dr. Obscura's malevolent practices spread through the digital underbelly, a group of vigilante hackers and online activists embarked on a mission to expose the monster behind the screen. Armed with a digital arsenal of tools, they uncovered a trail of victims who had fallen prey to Dr. Obscura's sadistic games. The group's relentless pursuit led them to an unsettling discovery: a hidden lair where Dr. Obscura conducted their vile experiments. It was a chilling chamber adorned with medical paraphernalia and a sickening collection of trophies from their victims. Videos and recordings of the heinous acts perpetrated against the patients were discovered, revealing the depths of Dr. Obscura's depravity. In a daring operation, the vigilantes managed to unmask Dr. Obscura's true identity and expose their heinous crimes to the authorities. The world watched in shock and horror as the dark web doctor was apprehended, and their reign of terror came to a gruesome end. The story of Dr. Obscura serves as a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in the darkest corners of the internet. It highlights the importance of vigilance and collective action in safeguarding vulnerable individuals from those who seek to exploit their trust and vulnerability for sadistic pleasure. While justice was served in this case, the scars left on the victims would serve as a haunting reminder of the malevolent doctor who abused their patients in the shadows of the digital realm.